What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Can't Bully Me podcast. I bought this crazy ass man back, Marty. I bought it back again, but I also have another guest, my best friend, Ava.
Hello.
Okay, all right. And see, usually I can see a lot of things going on. Anyway, this episode is going to be what I call a free pod. Right, so on this episode, you're not gonna have a facts versus feelings segment. It's just us chopping it up and having a good time. And we've already been talking about some shit behind the scenes. And I just want to say that, yeah, you can't bully me. So, like, let's just go ahead and lay that foundation. If that's why the show is called what it's called, and I think everyone feels that way on here.
You can try.
So, yeah, I mean, you most definitely can bully us. It's just like, you know, you gotta
welcome the effort.
No, like literally, cause I'm a Lil Nas X the troll back. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be like, really? Goddamn,
hey,
love the lipstick.
Give him an honorary doctorate in trolling.
I mean, grade A trolling.
Like
that's a marketing genius.
I mean, literally, effortlessly. So the thing that everyone has been talking about for the past 2 weeks has been the Dave Chappelle clip. And I didn't watch the whole show or pay attention to the whole one. And I love Dave Chappelle. I really, really, really think he is one of the greatest comedians of all time. I think that he's an amazing, amazing storyteller. Almost bar none. There are very few people that can really give it up like Dave Chappelle. But I've seen a lot of the critiques. I've seen the things from the trans community. And if you're looking for a hot take from me, my take is I'm still learning and I don't know enough. And sometimes it's okay to just say when you really don't know enough, I'm still learning.
Did Portia just plead the fifth on us?
And I don't know enough. So there are hills that people are willing to die on. This ain't one of mine. I just don't know enough. I can't tell people about their experiences. I haven't watched the full special. I watched halfway through because I fell asleep because I have to wake up for work at 4 a.m. And yes. And so I didn't see the whole thing, but I know that if they're feeling like misunderstood, then you do have to take a moment and listen to that. I think that if people are feeling like they're not being seen, you know, I do think that you have to take a moment and listen to that. There's this thing that my mentor used to always say that you'll hear me say a lot on the pod. She always says, don't save me, see me. Don't save me, see me. If you just see me, you'll realize that you don't have to save me.
Ooh, that's a bar.
That's a word.
So if you just see everything that I am, so I think about those people that are looking for a different job. I think about those people who, you know, are in their marriage and they're like, he just does not see me, right? So busy trying to save, that if you just take a moment and look and really just look and listen to what someone is saying and you see them, you will realize that they don't need to be saved because that's probably not what they're asking for, right? And so I just feel like that applies to this situation. You know what I mean? That this community is saying, see me, see me, see me. And we know from being, I mean, we're black. Everyone in this room is black. We know what it's like when people don't see you and they're just trying to give you something or just trying to save you or just trying to shut you up. So I know I like to approach things like that. So for me, if I don't know enough about a situation, I'm not going to give you a hot take. I feel like the hottest take I can give you is to say, I don't know enough, right? I can't tell people how to think or how to feel, but I can tell you that I'm listening and I'm learning and I have friends, but my friends may have a different experience, you know, than other people that are going through this same thing. And I think that Dave Chappelle, what we do know about Dave Chappelle is that he generally always has this, he always comes back to this overarching point that a lot of people will miss. And if I go back and look, I will almost bet there is one in there. Now, whether you agree with his overarching theme, I can't say because I didn't pay attention to it. All right. I told you I didn't watch the whole thing. And I love him, you know. Oh, I shouldn't say this one. But one of his greatest skits to me is he rapes, but he saves. But he saves more than he rapes. I just think that the way he did that was crazy. He took a very, 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 very controversial, I mean, like, what, you know, subject or something that we all hate together. We're all disgusted by rape, and paired it. That's a very hard thing to do. You know, that's a very hard thing to do, to make people laugh about things like that. So I will almost bet there's another point, but that doesn't negate the fact that if he hurt people, that you should listen. You know what I mean? What is y'all takes? Marty?
Ooh, not Marty, because Tony, you know I'm gonna turn it up. Like,
It was the ooh, not Marty.
Like this is God telling me, bro, don't turn it up. Turn down.
He got him
Turn down for what?
Turn down a little bit, my guy. But no, out of respect for.
Sometimes you just gotta.
That's gonna rock out behind me. But what I will say is the Dave Chappelle situation. For me, I understand Dave Chappelle, but like what I think, I agree with you, Porsche. I think we're looking at this and not understanding the type of comedian that Dave Chappelle has been for decades now, and also he never I feel like his jokes offended them, and for me it's like, okay, this is your third Netflix special, and your third Netflix special, like you're dealing with the same backlash after 3 specials, bro. But at the same time, I kind of think back, I was like, Dave Chappelle is a very work smart over hard. So it's like maybe when Netflix agreed to give him 3 specials, he wrote 1 special 3 ways.
Yeah.
So I was like, literally, I see that being the case, and I was like, now if this 4th special comes out, or another tour comes out, and he's like, you know, still harping on the trans community, I'm like, come on, bro, like you're better than that. Like you have multiple angles that I've seen you go at. So the fact that you kind of harp on them, because I've seen 2 of the 3 specials, and I'm not going to lie, I think I definitely kikied at a lot of them trans jokes. But it's like I kiki at the black jokes. I kiki at the jokes about men.
I mean, that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
And that's kind of what my thing is, and my outlook on Dave Chappelle is like he's doing his job. It's like nobody cancels a white comedian when they clown black people. Like nobody cancels black people when we clown the 1990s white voice was that's phased out. But the little dorky kid, nobody really trips. Nobody has ever tripped on any type of women slander that any comedian has ever said. So I'm just like,
they let Gary Owens keep.
That's what I'm saying. We got some people who if we gonna cancel bruh for this, it's like let's put a lot of people in the guillotine. And I feel like that's a part of cancel culture that I think he's fighting back against. Is y'all really pick and choose when y'all want to be
that was the
hard.
Overarching message.
Yeah.
That's what the whole. I think each of his specials, you're right, and he's trying to get people to see that same message. Do you see that there's an issue with the way we're picking and deciding what to be mad at?
Yeah.
All of this is wrong. Don't y'all see that? And it's difficult.
Yeah, even in the 2nd special, I remember he prefaced one of his jokes with I love the LGBTQ community, but he was like, y'all can't even lie. If you're being honest with yourself, being a man or a woman stuck inside of another, he's like, that's a very comedic situation. He's like, those jokes write themselves. He's like, my bad. He's like, y'all mad at me for telling them, but he was like, bruh, come on. He's like, how could I not? And I'm just like, I
think that I don't believe in censoring comedians. I have to keep it 100 with
100%.
you. So it doesn't matter whether they're coming at women, what they're coming at. I believe that comedians really push it forward. I don't believe in censoring comedians. You'll rarely hear me say, I don't really know if I feel like my line, honestly, for the only line that I have is probably literally my line in life is talking about touching kids. You know what I mean?
That's
if that to me
that's twisted.
That's it's one thing if we're talking about an R. Kelly joke, right? But as long as that just anything with kids is not funny to me. You know what I mean? Not anything with kids, but y'all get what I'm saying, child molestation. That's not really my laughter dwelling in that.
That's not a humor.
But I also don't hear comedians talk about that because nobody really finds that funny.
Actually,
you know
that's
what I'm
not
saying?
true. That's not true. Aziz Ansari, one of his first stand-ups, he does a whole skit about how he was a sexy child and that pedophiles would get nervous talking to him a girl, a guy going up to a girl. He said, yeah, pedophiles, I would walk in and be like, hey, and they would be like, oh my God, it's Aziz. His entire half of his set is about pedophilia.
Oh, he did it too?
I was gonna say, I feel like both of those.
Dave Chappelle did one on one of his specials.
Yeah.
Netflix specials.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
I feel like if you do that, you have to, like, it has to be a self-centered thing. Like, it's gotta be like, I was a kid.
Yeah.
It can't be like, you got
like,
a fine ass little daughter.
Yeah, like, you can't
nah.
be over here talking about some little fine ass daughter. That's weird. That's weird. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about like self-deprecating jokes that you exaggerated, stuff like that. Like, that's what you're supposed to do as a comedian. But other than that, I really don't have, like, comedians, I let them fly. Like, when they target black women, you kind of got to let it fly. Like, you'll rarely hear me say anything about canceling a comedian. I've never canceled a comedian in my life.
But I told y'all on the last pod that you don't want to go to war with LGBTQ PR. Like, you going to lose that battle even if you won. Like, it's like they're going to find a way to put them words together to like...
But you know, it took some time for them to be there, to get there.
To get organized.
So I love how strong they are now. You know what I mean? Because it's well-deserved. It's kind of like black people. It took us forever to get there. So now we just firing people off your tweets. You fired from one tweet. Karen is gone. That little bird girl, we found her job. It was out of here. Her job was like, oh, listen, you do good work, but not enough, not for us to get harassed by black people every day.
It's always that HR message. Our company does not align with these values. We are for diversity and inclusion and have a safe work.
Let me tell you something. That's a lie.
I was like, Ava done got that email before.
They be lying. I just want y'all to know that. Y'all need to stop saying that. You know, I don't know, but what's the alternative, right? Do we want to hear in the writing? Yeah, so we're not with none of that diversity shit. Quite honestly, we only gonna support white men, period. So if you come here, just know you a secondary slave, and that's on that.
And that shows in they company.
Bro, I responded to that email pretty, like, you know, I work here. So it's like, if I read this email and I still come into work, it's like, you know, hey, bro, just make sure them checks clear. Like, them checks clear. Like,
can you imagine, though, like, and you just, like, you still show up the next day? Cause that's just chilling. What's up, Todd?
If Trump heading your HR department, that's the email you getting. Like, hey, bro, go back to your shithole company that you used to work for. Like, cause we don't do that shit around here. We don't care about women's, blacks, none of that.
None of that shit. We just want you to know.
We here to make bread.
We staying that way. We keeping it like back. The famous painting. The famous biblical painting at the dinner table.
The Last Supper?
The Last Supper painting. They're going to be like, yeah, you see all these white people? Yeah. This how we keeping it here.
This our table, too.
So you know what this makes me think about, guys? This makes me think about Boosie. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm tired.
Hey, man.
Boosie, I'm like, get over it. Like, Boosie makes... He makes it so hard for people that just generally want to learn, or that genuinely, I mean, I'm so tired, guys. But this time, I'm not injured. Every podcast, let me put my fingers down for something happens.
I was like, yeah, them nails.
Every podcast, I'm injured with something. Y'all know I have my ingrown hair. Everybody keep asking me about the ingrown hair. Let me tell you what happened. Real story. I went to urgent care. Yes, it was a real thing. It was a real thing. Went to urgent care, had to lay on the table, had to tell them I got an ingrown hair. And she was like, oh, girl, we see it all the time. Lay back. Injected me with lidocaine. I'm looking up, and I'm like, and she's like, all right, we got to bust it. So all of that happened. I mean, Erica Banks. It was a whole thing. Then my finger... Y'all know my finger. Y'all want the finger update. Somebody came up to me.
I'm so sorry. Did you just say busted Erica Banks after that? I'm so sorry. We just glossed over it.
We glossed over that whole story. Like, that story was riddled with details that we just let her ride through. Like, the shot
I felt like I was in the corner of the emergency room like... Oh,
yeah,
damn.
it was a whole thing. I had to walk out like this, and it was this whole thing. They had to put gauze on it. But don't get me wrong. It wasn't like... She said, oh, I've seen... really bad one. She was like, yours is like a baby one, but to me it didn't feel like a baby one. But then my finger, the nail tech, because I cheated on my nail tech and went to another one. I'm so sorry, Carmen. I'm so sorry. And then my nails turned out not looking right, but now I'm back.
Big
claw.
Period.
It's giving claw.
And so, okay, anyway, but I'm not injured. I'm not injured today. But I'm tired, so my mind is moving a little differently. But anyway, back to Boosie. So Boosie has this problem. I think that I think he's just getting fueled up. I think that they're hyping him up a little too. I think they're hyping him up a little too much. I think that when you go telling people to kill themselves in a real way and you really mean it, you're going too far. I think Lil Nas X is a star. I think that, like, Boosie, if you gay, just say that. I mean, like, honestly,
open,
if you gay, just say that.
Bussie badass. Hey, bro, I will never not refer to him. As long as he on Lil Nas X nuts, bro, I will refer to him as Bussie badass.
Bussie badass.
Because
don't be mad.
there's a quote from Shakespeare. It's like, you protest too much. It's like, it's one thing to be a hater. Boosie has become the crusader of LGBTQ hate. Like, bro,
That's what happens when your cell name is Busted Open Boosie.
like Ava, he's at Lil Nas' neck, like he's like about to like how Batman be at folks' neck when about Gotham. Like he like, bro, like I really got to shut this down.
I am protecting the city.
Like the children.
The whole time he the Joker.
Ooh.
In the Joker movie.
Like
everybody's laughing at you, not with you. And I know them listen, the hood niggas hit him up like, thank you, because we don't want
their savior.
And here's the thing though, like, you don't have to want that for your son. Okay, whatever, that's your prerogative, right? But like, that's somebody else's life to decide what they do with it. And it's not for you to tell someone to go and die or to kill themselves. Because the truth of the matter is, you ain't gonna do shit. Like, that's the real. If you see him in person, you're not gonna do anything.
You gonna kiss that man.
If he would ever see him in person.
You're gonna be like, bust it.
Chill.
Bust it.
Nah, but yeah, he at bruh neck though. Like every week he got a new take for like, nah, bruh. It's like, bruh, this man is doing what he do. And he doing what gay people do. And for whatever reason, you just can't stand, like that just gets under, it just grinds your gears. I'm like, oh my God.
Like if something happened to you in prison, we want you to know
don't watch
it's
the
okay.
video, Boosie. It's okay.
This is a
okay.
safe space. If you drop the soap,
On purpose or
we got more soap. If
We
you
got
wanted
more
to
soap.
drop it in front of Lil Nas X, just say that.
If you would trade, just say that.
Because Lil Nas X is fine. That's a fine dark-skinned man.
It's that.
And I know that you recognize that. So, it's okay. I mean, we can tweet him for you. Hashtag Lil Nas X, give Boosie a chance. Give Bussie a chance.
But
Bussie badass.
Bussie badass.
Like, because honestly, it's really irritating. It's like, I don't even watch the full, like, I didn't even click and read everything to do with this because it's the same shit every time. And I'm telling different people, like, there are a slew of men out there that I'm sure is like, I want my son to be like me. I want us to have these commonalities. I don't want them to be gay because I cannot relate to that. But that's the part that's missing. It's not that you don't want them to just be, it's because you don't know how to relate to that. Maybe because you never took the time to what? See gay people.
Ooh,
and if you did take the time to see gay people, you would probably quickly realize that you do have a lot in common, right? Because people are still people. A human is still a human. That doesn't change, right? Like, so we all have these shared experiences. I'm a true believer in, I believe that we all have something in common with at least with everybody we meet. You can find a point of commonality, right? Like, I'm a true believer in that. That's why I always say I don't really like doing that whole beef and shit with women because I've never met a woman that I couldn't relate to on some level. Right? Like, even if it's like fingernails, you know what I mean? Like, it gotta be something. So I think that so many people are like, well, we feel like we can't say anything now because then there's a whole gay agenda. Like, shut the hell up, bro. Like, yes,
bro. Take your L.
It's not that much power, bro. Like, nobody has more power than the white man. I just want y'all to know, you know what I mean? When we start getting into white gaydom, like white gay man gaydom, that's a whole totally different story that I don't feel qualified to really speak on, but I have a lot of friends that can definitely speak on that. I just think that, you know, no one is saying like, oh yeah, we want everybody to be gay. You know what I mean? Like, we want everybody to be able to be who they are, to live authentically without fear of persecution, being killed.
Basic human rights.
Basic human rights. Like, it's not that deep. That don't mean you got to like everything that they do or everything that they stand for. But you can't be out here just dismissing them because of their sexuality or how they choose to identify. Like, it's really just not your business.
And that's the biggest, like, that's the part that, like, just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, this don't got nothing to do with you, bro. And, like, even
unless
the logic,
it does.
Ooh.
Even the logic that a lot of them use, because the hood logic I'm gonna put y'all on. This is the quote, bruh. The kids. It's like, bro, I've never seen two grown men kiss and be like, ooh. Let me see that. What's the TikTok? Let me get that sweat. Let me get that sweat right there. Like, nah, bro. It's like, bro, that's y'all. But it's like, I enjoy kissing women. But it's like, I'm gonna be an ally for y'all because doing y'all don't affect me at all.
Yeah, stop blaming it on the kids.
Cause it's like, bro, like, we've been calling SpongeBob gay for decades.
Man,
the moment Nickelodeon's like, hey, bro, SpongeBob gay. We like, oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Cancel it. Give Patrick his
They
own
were so
show.
mad about that oyster episode when they was raising the little oyster. It was an oyster.
Bro
or a
was
clam.
breastfeeding the oyster.
And they were so angry. It showed gender roles like y'all wanted to. Why are you upset?
Like,
I just think that I'm like, y'all just, it's so exhausting. Stop blaming it on the kids.
that's what it
I'm
is.
telling you, I've never had two little kids run up to me and be like, oh, is this wrong? Like, no, kids really don't care. First of all, kids don't even have the capacity to really, truly understand everything that comes with that. And they're just loving. Mm-hmm. So even if they did see two men kissing, two women kissing, like, kids may ask a question. Just because your child asked a question does not mean that their mind is exploding with this thing. You know what I mean? Like,
they're
they asked
raging homosexual.
Yeah, like, I want to be gay now. Like, your kids is not screaming that. Like, maybe they're like, oh, I didn't know my uncle kissed another man. Like, what does that mean? Oh, your uncle's gay. What does gay mean? That means he loves that man. And then as they get older, they realize more as they have more real world context. Mm-hmm. People always say, how do I explain this to my kid?
Just say what the definition is.
It's like, bro, you don't go explaining
like,
sex to a 4-year-old.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. What are you trying to do? Like, you're not going to be in there like, oh, your uncle like to put his penis in your uncle's booty hole. You're not going to say that to no child.
Nobody's saying that.
I'm like, y'all not saying that to no child?
And they both like to roller skate at the park.
So it's like,
that's all you got to say.
They love to hold hands.
They like to watch the same
Just like
movie.
me and your mommy. You know what I mean? Like, you're not explaining sex. So when y'all are talking about these things as if it's the end of the world, I'm like, y'all just tell them that they're in love. Like, you should be with your wife.
Oh, snap. Chill before I'm about to get up.
But that's having to explain the difference between intimacy, love, and sex. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know the difference between the three.
Bars.
And that's the confusion. And you also have to be able to look at your child as a person and not your child. Like, you can't control them.
Bars.
That's a person.
You never can control them.
You can't control them.
And we've said this before, you know, from my experience, I just believe you're born a certain way and that you develop and you find the confidence over time. So quite honestly, it don't matter whether little Jim saw Jack and Jimmy Jr. kiss or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really don't. Like, if that's what he was feeling, that's just what he feeling, and y'all gotta let this shit go. Like, it is what it is. People always say, well, what if you had a gay I don't give a fuck. I have nothing but
me and my kid we gonna ball out on your
that's what I'm saying. Like,
kid.
Y'all think Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union the most? Baby, you ain't seen shit, okay?
Like,
we can have the whole rainbow in my house. I don't give a damn. Like, we just chilling.
Because, like, I definitely feel like when folks be like, you know, if I have a son, I would definitely like my son to be cisgendered and heterosexual. But if he's not, that's not going to deter my love for my son.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not going to change how I feel about my daughter. It's like, they're a human being. I'm going to give them that bare minimum of respect to just be like, okay, even if, like, because I think it's both. I think we do a disservice to the community by being like, are you born or do you make the decision to be gay? Because if you make the decision to be gay, then you can make the decision to be ungay. And it's like, I feel like, bro, like, if you decide to, like, okay, like in college, like women, like the experimental aspect of it is like really just fighting out, like, okay.
We're still animals that are very nature is
like,
looking to experiment on new ways to survive, to be warm, right? It's like basic human things basic animal things that we all do. You know, when it's cold, what do you want to do? Be warm. Like there's so many things.
We're social creatures. We want to be around other people, try different things.
Yeah, like minds, all that. So it's like we give a lot of people, like, you know, white men, white women, that space. Going to UGA made me realize that white men have a social like window, that black man, like, we fitting through the crack.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
they walking through a garage door. It's like, bro, like, they could do whatever. I seen white men twerk. I done seen white men, like.
And nobody
thinks nothing
says
of it.
anything.
But the moment you even hit one little booty pop, boy,
It's a
you
wrap.
on Black Twitter, you
cracking
are. Oh man, you might as well cut. What was the last video I saw? Because recently Black Twitter's been like, oh, you gay if you got an umbrella or you got a fruity drink.
Oh yeah.
So
I saw a dude.
ridiculous.
What's the hibachi? Like the sauce? Oh my, he done.
The dude who's getting squirted in his mouth.
Bro.
Hold up, old girl in the corner.
I
he
saw
was
that video.
heavy. I was like,
I
they
got
was like, y'all know he gay, right? I was like, oh, bro, it was for sure. Like, gay or not, Twitter was gonna make bro gay. Like that. I was like, yeah, he was guzzling. So I was like, guzzling. Yeah.
It's so interesting you said that because I saw a meme earlier where it was like, if you talk to black women about black men being bisexual, they turn into Boosie.
Legit, every time. Every
Yeah.
time, and that's the part that I feel like create like.
Oh, I do think black women can be problematic when it comes to that. I just want to be clear.
And that's
you can't bully me.
And that's
I
the
definitely
future.
think black
And
women
not the
can be
future,
problematic when it comes to the
that creates
things that
boosies as well.
we say around, and that's why, like, the things that we say around, I would never date. People are entitled to have their preferences, right? Like, that's just period. But there is a way to communicate your preference so that you're not degrading something or specific characteristics. I mean, the most famous thing that I can think about for our era is probably the Insecure episode, where Molly is, and the guy was like, yeah, like, I just experimented around, like, even like the gay community, the black gay male community, they're kind of divided on that. Like, is it something you could just do once? Is it not? And I feel like everyone looks at that from their own experience.
But that's because sexuality
It's fluid.
Sexuality is a spectrum. It's fluid.
It's fluid.
Like, just because, you are John and you meet Craig and Craig gets your dick hard, maybe that doesn't mean Tom, Craig, Hank, all of them are. That means the connection you have with Craig, he gets your dick hard, and then maybe Jane will get your dick hard. It does not matter. Like, sexuality is like this because you're more attracted to the person and the spirit than you realize.
And I exactly. I don't think that people are in tune with their spirituality enough to know that I learned a long time ago to stop saying never to certain things, because you may come across the right spirit and you'll be very surprised at how your soul is looking to yearn and connect.
On some Frank Ocean,
like, yeah, like you just never know. So I think you should always be open, but I think about that a lot when it comes to that, because I'm just like, y'all, if Molly, and this is we're talking about characters. If Molly decided that that's not what she wants, then that's just not what she wants. That could be for a plethora of different reasons, right? That could be because she was socialized to think a certain way. Yeah. That could be because she's selfish. Like, sometimes she's just selfish. Sometimes it's like, no, I'm already got to compete with 50% of the population. We ain't about to add nobody else to this motherfucker. And that's real too. Like there are multiple reasons why people can feel that way, and I don't think that you can tell somebody about their preference. It's different. Like, my mind just jumped to Chris Brown. So follow me, guys. Chris Brown, we all know what type of women he like. They all look alike. And I think about the girl who said, the dark skinned girl who was like, he wouldn't let me into the party because I was dark skinned.
Which one?
Yeah, it's happened multiple times, right? And so
it's tough.
I think about that, and I'm like, that's where preferences start being
affecting other people. Like,
that's not just a I wish I had the right terminology for it, because we have went beyond preference now to saying that I don't think enough of you. Now, let me say, I do not know whether this is true, right? There have clearly been a lot of women at Chris Brown's estate, right? So, like, who knows if that's true? Who knows if that was the reason why? I can't speak to that. The only thing we can speak to is that we know for a fact Chris Brown love him some yellow women. Okay? That's a fact. Okay? Like, you can't.
The darkest I've ever seen him with is legit Rihanna, and she like.
No, literally.
That was it.
She like coffee.
And I don't even know. No, I would say Karrueche when she tans.
She darker than Rihanna?
I think so.
No, really?
Karrueche is. I mean,
it's like Vietnamese.
Karrueche, I feel like she tans because she's what is she? Not Filipino.
She's Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, yeah. I think she tans, and they actually do tan pretty nicely.
Yeah,
like those Filipinos, they get a nice brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
it's
do,
so
for
pretty.
sure, for sure. It's not giving, what do they call it, blackfishing. That's just really how they tend.
Yeah,
that's really how they tend.
You know, I feel
they
like,
don't got to go 7 times a week to get that base.
Yeah.
But it's like with the preference thing, I feel like it's kind of like an opinion. Like everybody's entitled to their opinion, but your opinion doesn't matter in every context. And like you trying to make it matter, literally, like Boosie literally can feel how he feels about Lil Nas X, but him hopping on the internet and be like, bro, you should kill yourself, and folks applauding that has a negative impact on this other person's life.
And it doesn't matter how strong you are, you can only take things like that so much. So I commend Lil Nas X for being strong, but the truth of the matter is we're all human. And how many times could you really take, whether it's for attention or not, someone telling you to go kill yourself, someone always on your ass?
No pun intended. But yeah.
Bussie badass. So listen, on to the next topic. I saw this meme, Ava sent this meme, and it said, did it hurt when you had to fade your voice out while you were telling a story to a group of people once you realized nobody was really paying attention? We've all been there.
The struggle of the long-winded. The struggle of the long.
What? Y'all don't immediately like double down and get louder?
Oh,
well,
let me
it
tell you
depends on the
something.
story.
Because that's what I'm saying. If I'm telling it, it's like, oh, y'all gonna catch this story. Like,
We're going to, like, I want y'all to know, I know I'm long-winded. I don't give a fuck. You're going to listen because I'm a great storyteller. And we're going to get there. I'm going to take you there. Just get on this journey with me. If you're wondering why I have on this pink top. Hold up. Can they see? Yeah. This pink top. It's because today is Halloween. This is a Halloween episode, right? But technically, that's the little things that fell down. And if you go to my Instagram, you will see who I am. But this little shea butter baby is applying nothing but pressure, honey.
not cocoa butter, baby.
Shea butter baby. I'm Ari Lennox from the Pressure video. But also, I changed it every hour this weekend. I'm the sexiest bottle of Pepto-Bismol you've ever seen. I'm also bubblegum because I'll pop your bubble. And I'm also a flamingo because...
Namaste.
Show them that leg work.
And then I'm also a showgirl because...
Give him the applause.
So you just see how it just keeps going. It's the costume that keeps giving. But if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a special surprise. I really think y'all should go to my Instagram and watch it. Okay, but what's next, guys? What's next? Like, what else is on y'all mind? Because this is a free episode.
I'm really feeling black people and pets right now. There has been this new influx with like showcasing black relationships with their pets. Like how our interactions with them is just so different than any other culture. Like the way I talk to Luna, I don't talk to her like no dog. Like, that's my child. Is she out of line 87% of the time?
Black people with pets. One thing about black people and pets, they're going to be like, do you want to whoop it? Do you want to whoop it like the dog? But I don't know about y'all, dog, but Skittles is a bitch, literally. And what I'm here to tell you is, she be looking back like...
If you name me Skittles, I'll be a bitch, too. As often as I could be. Like, oh, my goodness. You name me Skittles. It's like, I'm literally like, you're referring to me.
Up every
like,
day.
legit. Like, you better be like, yeah, I'm not peeing on your sofa at any given moment.
You're going to taste this rainbow every time.
Every day.
You know, and Skittles is a big bitch, and she's just like, my mama be like, why you do that stupid shit? And Skittles be like, I really don't know who this bitch thinks she's talking to like this.
Nah, dogs will hit you with that.
When that head tilt, like...
Bruh, you ain't never acting like this.
I truly believe I'm a dog whisperer. Like, I'm the best. If you bring your pet around, I will start talking. Like, I swear to God, I feel like I know what they're saying.
You got that Dolittle gene, too.
Yeah, no.
She does.
No,
I'm not
legit.
to do the most, okay? And to be honest with you, I really be knowing what the fuck these dogs be saying. They really be cussing y'all out. Like, every time I go to my homegirl Kenya house, her dog is named Bentley. And Bentley is really bougie. And I swear to God, I feel like Bentley just be like, here come this bitch again, shooting another video. I'm like, here come this bitch again. My mama got to do her makeup again. Bitch, you ain't learned shit yet? You ain't learned shit? I just really feel like her dog be saying some crazy ass shit. But it's like, we really like each other.
Black dogs always can talk. Like, you ever talk to a dog and they like roof back like words? Like, Luna now will say outside, and I'm not even joking. Like, it's like, arr, and I'm like, yo, can you not do that?
Did you take anything today?
No, get out of here. It's just like a baby. If you talk to your dog enough, they will learn how to make
got
similar
Scooby-Doo on her teeth. Raggy,
Y'all playing, My dog is Scooby-Doo. She will solve mysteries.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Since we're jumping around for fun, listen, y'all. When I tell you we're tired, because it's been a long weekend filled with great news, though. Yeah. I will say that.
More to come.
More to come. Filled with great news. I'm really excited about some upcoming things that I can't discuss, but I am very excited. And but right now I'm thinking about Charlize Theron raising these black kids, and I don't really have something super educated to say about it, except for it takes a really great listening person to do that.
Say her name one more time. Because in a vacuum, I would not have thought that woman was white or not black.
Charlize Theron?
Charlize Theron sounds like a sidekick.
Charlize Theron. There we go. I have to get used to saying it like Theron. Is it Theron?
I thought it was Charlize Theron.
Like, that sounds like the real name of a superhero.
What?
Like, by day she's like Rogue, but by night she's like Charlize Theron or whatever y'all said.
Okay. You're right. It does take a certain type of listening and a certain type of person. She recently came out and said that she has a circle of black women around her that let her know and call her on her bullshit when she's moving wrong. Like, she noted a time that they had came over and had noticed that the girl's edges were breaking off, and they were immediately on her ass. Like, why are these babies' edges breaking off? Like, what's going on?
She got a cabinet. I'm dying. Like, the simple fact that she got to outsource.
Not a cabinet.
She got to outsource administrative duties.
That should let you know how hard it is to be a black woman. When
she gotta have multiple.
In order to even raise us, you gotta have a whole cabinet.
She got the whole.
Watch them all be different colors, different hairstyles.
See, my entrepreneurial mind. I'm really about to start a consultation service. Like, be like, hey, are you a white woman who has adopted somebody who you have no idea how to take care of?
Download my guide today.
Legit, your first free month on us.
Having hair care tips.
So while we're laughing about this, if you're wondering, I do think it's possible for a white woman. I think it's possible for a white woman to not on Blind Side, because that movie definitely didn't depict that actual story the real way it should have been depicted. Yeah, dang. Great movie until you realize it was all a lie. Like, they definitely, that had white woman savior complex written all over it, as if that man didn't bring anything to the table except for his football skills, and that was just not the case. That man was extremely talented. He wasn't just here to babysit some white kids and to protect a white woman. That was a very, when you're younger, you watch that movie, you say, oh, that was a great movie. But as you get older, you realize The Blind Side was really fucked up.
Even as you're talking about it, it definitely had a Mandingo spirit to it. He was definitely a brute. Like, he was like, I remember a scene where he blocked somebody over the Gatorade bottle. I'm like, that didn't happen.
No, but he saved a little white boy.
He saved a little white boy by putting his hands, and it was like he just saved him with his hand in the car crash. And that's all good and well, but I didn't. When you watch that movie as a black intellectual, you see it with a different set of eyes, and you're like, oh, this was some bullshit.
And the daddy was racist. Okay. Can we say that now? The daddy was racist and was letting it go because he was like, look, free house care, free babysitting. I guess you can bring it in the house. Like,
bring it in the house.
That's how he was acting. Like, he didn't want to even pick the boy up out of the rain. Like, if you really rewatch
I remember that scene.
He kept trying to get him out of the house.
Yeah. And but I'm thinking back, right? I do know I have white women in my life, and they do have not black kids, but little mixed kids, right? And I think that I provide a consultation service for real.
I was like, how you really feel about that? You know, they can't bully you, so say what you say.
What kind of questions do they ask you?
I can't reveal that. But out of respect, because I feel like it is extremely possible for a white woman to be open, but you have to have someone that is completely honest around. And I am completely honest.
Wow, this idea, as the more we keep talking about it.
The black cabinet?
Like, it legit gets, it's getting legs. Like, my idea, it was a joke at first, but now I'm like, I'm starting to see a market.
Really
I'm starting to see a
makes
market for
sense.
white women who want to be white saviors.
And I think it would actually provide like a filter for all of those white men and women who adopt black kids and it's wrong.
I will tell you that
oversight.
if you see someone, if you meet a white woman in that position and you become close to them, it helps you not hate white women. And I know somebody just got shot because I know there's some white person watching my shit right now.
I think we all got kind of quiet. We all was just like.
And I know y'all just got shocked, but as a black person, like, you know, we talk about white men a lot, but when a white woman cries, your whole life can end.
Nah, for sure.
I honestly.
And so if you can't, I don't need for a white person to back. I don't need to be backed up. I said what the fuck I said, and it's true. When a white person cries, when a white woman cries, your whole career, people have gotten lynched over this. So save your arguments for somebody else because I'm factually correct, period. And that's on Emmett Till.
That's on Emmett Till for real, because that's definitely who I thought of.
Like, so like,
Sis
you know.
came out and was like,
so
Cap, 70 years later.
No. And I still want that bitch to go to jail. And yes, I said that
Y'all know
bitch.
this happened,
I
like,
think she should go to prison.
recently again.
She's not dead. What is her name? Carolyn Bryant or something like that. She's not dead. She's still alive, and I don't give a fuck. If y'all could, like, if we're sending old people to prison, that's on Bill Cosby. Take her ass too. I don't give a damn that she almost that she old. Huh?
Literally, this happened recently. A white woman at the bar told her boyfriend that a black dude had came up and said she was fine or something like that. And literally, this was a couple weeks ago, and the white dude beat him to death.
It does make you see white women in a different light, right? And I think personal relationships is what really helps in that case because they can see like, no, you can't do this. It's when you're raising. We always say this. We all know this is the running joke in the black community. When you meet a mixed person, you automatically know whether they had a white mama or a black mama.
Ooh, that part.
I mean, instantly. I've never been wrong. I instantly can tell whether a mixed person has a white mom or a black mom. And you may say, oh, how? That question.
That's one book cover you can read.
Yeah, like I can instantly tell.
If you
can almost tell by the names.
You could tell by the outfits too.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah. You could tell by the you could just. I've never been wrong. Have y'all ever been wrong?
Nope. Nope.
Nah.
I've never been wrong. You could tell by just. It's in the
mannerisms, like how they like. It's like legitimately like there are two different like dynamics.
Yes,
and like there are cultural dynamics that like you just don't get unless you have a consult or you like a team
like
behind you.
I'm thinking about this white person in particularly, and I told her the same thing. I was like, it's totally different when you as a white woman is doing this compared to a black woman. Mm-hmm. There's just certain shit your child won't even get to do. Like, we're not even getting there.
What you mean? Is that like the first?
Well, yeah, they wanted me to explain that to them because they don't have the context to pull from that. You know what I mean? And so I explained it, and then they started to get it. Right? But then somehow I feel like they start adopting black mannerisms. Like, the more you talk to them about this shit, they be like, hold up. So y'all let y'all kids get away with this shit? Well, fuck it. I've been having a problem with this shit for a long time. I know this one. Oh, damn. There's a story I really want to tell. I feel like I can tell it because I know a lot of people. There was this one person that I met a long time ago, and she said that her children had went missing at a park. And she's a white woman, right? And it was just like a water park or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the police were like, how does your child look? And she was like, for the first time, I thought to myself, if I tell them that my child, like, how do I describe my child? You know what I mean? Like, how do I say this is a little, what will happen if I tell them this is a mixed baby? Because she's fully white, clearly. Like this is not even, right? And she was like, it hit her like a ton of bricks because how does your child look? And then her children aren't just what I would call, quote unquote, like regular looking mixed. They really could be, they could look dark skinned Italian, depending on which eye, like if it was in the summertime, right? Mm-hmm. They could look Hispanic. Like, they really look mixy. The very ambiguous looking children.
Mixy.
Very ambiguous looking children. And so for the first time, she had to really think, like, do I risk telling them?
But I mean, like, that's the part about white women that I don't get. Cause it's like what in your head, like what immediate, like big lips, big nose, like, you know, like you could have said they got curly hair about this.
They got
tall.
on a blue
like,
shirt.
You know, like,
they got on jeans.
Like
they have
legitimately,
on
like, what
trunks.
are they wearing, ma'am? Like I'm pretty sure your kid is the only one.
But then again, like if this was for
No,
example an
but
all
it's
white
a-
park, you gonna see the brown faces and the all white. before you see
But
the green shirt.
you have to keep it in mind though, like it's a water park.
Yep.
Right? So it's not just as simple as saying,
Like,
why you got on
like
blue
Six
trunks?
Flags.
Like there's
Thousands of
300,000
blue
kids out here that
That's
got
what
on
I'm
blue
saying.
trunks.
You start adding them up though. Blue trunks, they only about this tall, wearing
But the biggest thing you're gonna see is they skin color before you see the trunks.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Sis need to put
an air tag on her kid and just call it a day.
Listen, I think she would agree. But it was just so interesting to me that when you do meet someone that's going through that, and I commend the black women that are holding Charlize up, because you do realize that you have to answer a lot of questions that we as black women wouldn't even think about.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the kid.
Yeah.
And it's like this kid still has to
Has
be
to
raised.
grow up.
Yeah.
And you're the person that chose to raise this kid. So if you don't help, it's not like, oh, I would never help Charlize. I would never help a white woman raise a black child. That's fucked up, because that child is still getting raised by this white woman, whether you help her or not.
And especially if she's literally open to seeking that, like she's
She
seeking
wants the
this advice,
knowledge.
like the legit. So it's like, that's what I realized at UGA. Like a lot of our relationships with white people and white people's relationships with us is the fact that we do not contact it. Like there is literally no, like, hey, like I'm from Coffee County, Georgia. Like my only representation of black life is BET. So it's like when I come here and I see y'all like barking, it's like
strolling,
yeah, like
and
doing stuff that like, you know, to us is just culturally,
Yeah.
you know, is deep in embedded in our history. They're just like, you know, alphas acting like monkeys. They're like,
But I thought we not supposed to say that.
This not like, you know, 1 + 1 = 3 right now, and we not supposed to say that. So it's like, you know, I just gave them at least that fair shake to be like, okay, like, you know, if you're an N-word saying white person, you're on a whole different spectrum of like what you're willing to accept.
Yeah, and please stop talking to me about the N-word, because I'm going to keep saying it, and you can't.
I don't personally say it, but I won't police anybody. Like, I don't police anybody for saying it. Because I feel like
you don't
I don't
police white people?
anybody. I don't police anybody.
You don't police. Like, what do you mean by you don't police?
I don't, like, literally,
what does that
like,
mean?
You let Hispanics and
Break
everybody else.
that
say
like,
down.
For example, Hispanics. They love the N-word more than we do. I'm not like, but a lot of Hispanics have like the cultural dynamic has a lot of overlapping similarities. So I feel like as a culture, we be like, bro, like y'all can't say it. But it's like, if we with a Hispanic that we're cool with, that's like literally been with us.
I think that Ava would have totally different views on this. Can I say why?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
'cause
think
do.
that you would be very. Ava is Hispanic and black, and she identifies as Hispanic and black. But she was raised by a black woman, right? So her whole, and if you look at her, she looks black. But I guess it just depends on when you look, I guess. But I mean, she just pretty much, you would probably guess she's black.
Because that's what people see when they look at me.
Yeah.
And like my dad is a white Puerto
Hispanic,
Rican.
yeah.
A white Puerto Rican. Like when I was out with him, people would be like, "Oh, is that your That's
your
Milton?
little sugar baby."
That's your little sugar baby." And I'm like, "No, I'm his child. Please keep it together."
Yeah.
But if my family, my cousins, any of them ever called me, even in fun ways, the N-word, I am telling my mother, and she is coming up there and she is beating ass, because it still doesn't give you the right. And I think if you understood the Hispanic culture's relationship with their black identity, you would really
Marty,
feel some kind
would,
of way.
I think you would change your answer, because the things that Ava has went through, and we don't have to discuss all of it, but just the different things that Ava has went through within her own family. Like, we look at Ava and we don't see dark skin, but you'll be surprised.
I'm the darkest thing on that side of the family, and they make sure I don't forget it.
And
okay, so as a darker skinned male, I can understand. Like, you know, like we're all, like me, you, Warren, and Ava, like we're all on the darker end of the spectrum. And it's just like, for me, I think we can get deeper into this, but I think what black people have tried to do with the N-word has utterly failed. Because, and I've proposed this idea I proposed the M-word, where we call each other masses. Where like I refer to y'all like, what's good, my massa Ava? Like, what's good, my massa? Like, real, like, that's why my name on Instagram is Maester Marty V, because Maester is the gur to the guh. Like, massa is the guh. Maester is the
Look at
GER.
you.
Because it's like,
Little linguist.
if we're going to take something,
Such an alpha.
if we're going to take something from somebody,
Such an alpha.
then it's like, I feel like we need, like, I feel like the N-word was always, like, and the reason why I don't police white people is because what were we before white people referred to us as the N-word? And why I don't even believe that we're black. Because I think blackness, and I think the idea, like, to your point about the Hispanics' relationship with that part of them, is the fact that I think the real issue is the world knows we are water. We are the solvent that you mix the Kool-Aid in. We're not the Kool-Aid. Caucasian, like all that other stuff is the Kool-Aid.
I was really praying he could bring this back around because it was looking real shaky for a second.
Because it goes completely against the grain of like what society. It goes completely against the grain of what society has told us we're supposed. Like it's like, oh, the N-word is a term of endearment. It's the term like, but it's like literally we can't enjoy ourselves at Sanford Stadium if they play in Mo Bamba. Because like the idea that a white person might utter it, and then once they actually the whole stadium says it, it's like we're literally like pissed. It's like why do we give them that emotional control?
I think it's such a I think that to each their own. I believe that every black person is entitled to have their own rules around the word nigga. Period. That sound is coming through a little bit. Okay. I don't know what it is. I think it's just my refrigerator.
Yeah, it's a little that white noise. I didn't.
Yeah. But I think that I tell white people, you know, just be careful. You're better off just not saying it. Because white people, I'm not Marty.
Yeah. And most black people are not.
Not
like,
Marty
white people I was talking to earlier.
No.
Like,
I am not Marty.
Like, listen, I'm not Marty, so I'm letting you know that right now, baby. Yeah. I'm not Marty. Don't come to me saying that shit. I done checked plenty of people at UGA for it's like, no, I'm not Marty. I can say it. There are hundreds of thousands of words. So when I tell people, when white people are always like, but why can't I say that? Why do you want to say that word so bad? The only reason you want to say it is because you can't. For the first time in your life, there is a one word that can ruin your entire life, and you want to say it because it's the one thing that the world has said. If you say this, it could cause some motherfucking issues. So what I'm here to say is, hi, I am the motherfucking issue. Don't say that shit around me. We're not cool like that. And yes, I say nigga all the time. I can. I'm black. It's my word. I own it. I prefer, and I also respect the people that are like, I don't say it based off what everyone went through. Mm-hmm. Cool. But I'm like of the Jay-Z, right? Like I always say I'm of the Jay-Z tribe when it comes to the to the word nigga. And what he said, like, I do believe that you can take ownership of words. I do believe that if you listen to Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, the album, you just do more research on where the word derived from. And I totally okay with it, right? Like it's a term, and nigga can mean multiple things. That's what we really needed to take this conversation. Nigga!
It's got like 30 definitions.
And then it's like,
it's not even really describing
like, nigga.
Like we be like, bro, that white tripping.
But you ain't never seen. So in college, I was in a fraternity and a sorority. And my fraternity was mostly all white for the most part.
Let them know it's business so they're not confused. It's business fraternity, so you can join too. I don't want them thinking like, how this
whoa, she a Q&A.
Plot twist. Nah. I was a part of a white fraternity, business fraternity.
I was about to make a Dave Chappelle joke, but I decided to stay. Did you? It was that Aquarius.
I said, I thought you were going to bring it back around.
I was like, oh, don't do it. You should have
dropped it.
When I said it, we all heard it.
My mind went there quick. I was like, I'm about to be Dave Chappelle on their ass real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just real quick.
She threw it off the backboard for you.
That was funny. Nah. But right when it came out, I was like, here it goes. One of them gonna do it. Nah, but I have seen the glitter in a white person's eye when they get to say nigga in a song, and I know they say it when we not there, but it's something about us being there and them being able to say it in front of us. It gives them a twinkle because they know, like, they also want to see what you're gonna do. I think they do it to test their privilege. How far are you gonna really take it?
And that's my thing. So it's okay that there are Martys in this world that won't police you, and I'm not here to police you, but I'm just saying that I'm not saving your ass. I let all my white homegirls know, all my white homeboys know. One thing about me, you get caught up in some racist shit, you on your own. LaPorsche's not saving you because you have access to this knowledge, 3 degrees worth. Act like it.
And that's my thing. Like,
my white friends already know too. They told me the other day, one hit me up and was like, I had sent them some shade room meme. They was like, no, we already know. If we don't understand it, we just gonna be quiet and we just gonna ask you about it in private, and then we gonna learn, and then we'll say something. But if we don't know it, even gonna ask.
That's usually the situation. It's like, you're not. Most of the white people that I even came into contact with at UGA, they were socially aware enough to know that, you don't even have to really be socially aware. Just like, I know I shouldn't say that word, and I don't really have a means to say it. So when you say it as a white, like, I had a white roommate. Bro was like one of those, hey, bro, I'm going to the Migos music video, and I'm an extra. So it's like, he just felt like he would, like, bro, just
I'm
knew.
in the cookout.
Like, I feel like he done said it to Offset, and Offset done, like, said something back to him, and now he feels like that's who Mike is.
I got that
like,
brown
bro,
drip on me now.
That's like legit. Like, please, like adore me with my melanin. Like, please, like, it's about time I've earned it. But it's just like,
I earned it.
So it's just like, he was a specific type of cat. And I was like, I know once you move out of this place, I'm never gonna talk to you again. It's like, I don't stand to benefit from me. Like what I'm gonna do, stone cold stunning you in the living room. Like,
and I
don't care what the retaliation, because it's like, if you say it around me, I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna call you a snow roach, a moon cricket, like, whatever it is. Like, we can start exchanging slurs if that's what we want to do.
Etymology, though. Not the etymology with
so that's what I'm
cricket.
saying. Like, so I was like, if you want to exchange,
but it's just crazy because that's the biggest slur in the world, and we all know why. And I can't speak for other cultures, right? But I do know for a fact that nearly everyone in this world knows that one word can really set people the fuck off. So I take that into consideration. Everyone else has pretty much got reparations for other things, and I won't even go into it because we don't got time to because that's all y'all know what we all thinking right now.
Screw
and I'm
Joe
like,
Biden.
Huh?
Oh no, I guess you wasn't thinking that.
No, I was thinking of another
I was
culture.
thinking a couple of pieces of legislation that have gone through the past 30, 40 years.
Yes. And I just think that, I don't care what Marty say, don't come around me with that bullshit. I'm telling you that right now.
Man.
And honestly, I always say I have friends that happen to be white, because I feel like once you reach a certain level with people, they're not my white friends. They're my friends who happen to be white. Mm-hmm. And we have really great relationships. And because I know what it's like to be around great white people, I won't tolerate low standard, ignorant white people in my life. I won't tolerate it. I'm not here to be your teacher.
Ooh, that part.
That is not what I'm doing for you, right? You need to come with some knowledge that you're looking to learn as well. I exhausted all of that during the protest last year with the George Floyd stuff, right? And I realized how remarkable my friends who happen to be white are. And that's when I realized I can't really fuck with,
I don't.
Low class white people.
Yeah,
that's just not my thing, because I just know great white people. So therefore I know I don't have to baby them. So I'm not entering this trying to baby you. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing personal. There are a lot of black people that will take the time to teach you. But like I said on Fox Soul when I was a correspondent, I am not one of them.
She said Fox Soul.
That kind of brings up a question. What do you think is worse, saying nigga, or white people when they depict a black caricature in order to feel more involved in the community? Kind of similar to your roommate, but like Vicky and them, and white people that intentionally put on this facade to try and attract black women. Like, are all of those things worse than just somebody saying nigga? Like, what is the worst thing that
I think what makes that hard is what makes that hard is that's like more of a recent thing that we've been getting to discuss. I don't know enough historical context around that to know if white people have been really doing that specific thing. Well, I know about the caricatures. We know about the blackface. We know all of that, right? Minstrel shows. Yeah. That's not what I'm referring to.
But I'm talking like
right?
today's.
But we're talking about today's version. So for me, I think that just because of the historical context when it comes to saying nigga and how quickly things can go left or right, or up or down, that's a hard one. I'm not sure, because I don't like any of that shit. I don't like that blackfishing. I don't like trying to make yourself. It's this really weird thing where everyone is fighting to be someone that they're not.
Yep.
It's like this thing that you hate so much. We blame Kim K and all of them, although they are Armenian. So, so there's that. But I don't like that blackfishing shit. I don't like if you're you're saying you're depicting a black woman, but there are so many different versions of us. We're not a monolith.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes that can get irritating, right? And you may say, well, y'all laugh at it, but that's because we really know people like that in real life.
And it's like
but we also know a spectrum of, like, I know the insecure. I know someone who is like Issa Rae. Like, she totally reminds me of Issa Rae. I know someone who is Angela Rye. I know someone who's a Michelle Obama. I know someone who is ghetto as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know all of those people. So it does suck when you're battling that one thing, because that has real life implications for us as we go into the workplace. I know that if I make a white woman cry at work, which would not be hard, right? I know if I make a white woman cry at work, it's a totally different thing for if she makes me cry.
It's not hard.
White women that made me cry at work, and I promise you nothing occurred.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know it's totally different, right? So that's a totally different conversation for another day as we begin to, like, go into our final topics. But I just think that just has way larger implications. It has pay implications. I know that when I'm coming to the table to ask for a raise, it's totally different. I know that when I'm saying I will not tolerate that, they hear it different, right? I know that this all pushes itself into the mortality rate when it comes to births, when black women are giving birth in the hospital. So there are plenty of statistics to back me up in all this. It's just, being a black woman is really hard. I can't speak on other people's experiences and being different things, but what I can speak on is being a black woman, and how when you can see the inequities in your everyday life and you see yourself working hard and you see that you say you tired, they say keep going, do better. Even black women, to other black women, they say get over it, you got to keep pushing. Let me tell you something. A white person say they tired at work. Oh, you should really go home. You should really take a day off. Just the way, to all of my white listeners, I want you to start paying attention to things like that. What do you say? Are you just saying, well, tough it out? Because you got to ask yourself, why are you saying that? Because that has real life implications for people like me when you work so hard that you passing out at home. Like, literally passing out. Because you ain't hydrated, you working, and no one is telling you to slow down. You know what I mean? No one is telling you to take a break. But everybody else is taking a break. You know what I mean? Just be very conscious of those things. I'm very conscious of them. I mean, what's the famous saying? To be black and aware is to be angry all the time.
Yeah, James Baldwin.
Yeah,
it's almost to be in a state of rage almost all the time.
Yeah, so I say, but if we're lighting it black up, if we're lighting it black up, I do think that there are always things that can be done. I do believe that there's always an opportunity to learn. That just don't mean that I'm going to teach you all the time. And I do love educating. I just can't keep I'm not explaining to white people no more what white privilege is. Because if you can't find literature on that by now, it's because you don't want to know.
It's like,
but we can talk about topics like this. Yeah. We can talk about more high-level topics, but I'm no longer at that level. I'll pass that off to my good brothers and sisters who want to do that. But me, LaPorsche, I'm not explaining to you what white privilege is anymore. That's just not where I'm at. In my development, because that's holding me back from being what I can be to other white people who are already like, baby, we got that. We done read the book White Fragility. Let's get to this real shit. Let's get to this adoption shit. What can I do to change the world with you? How can I stand beside you?
Pay me bread to teach you how to raise a kid like me. Like, pay me good $2,500 a month, because I'm taxing y'all because y'all white. I'm getting it back in blood. Word to Pooh Shiesty. Like, we getting reparations one way or another. It's coming out y'all pockets. Y'all heard it here first. You can't bully us. None of us. So we getting our 40 acres and a mule equivalent. So that's what? 90 acres and at least a stallion by now.
No, 90 acres a stallion. So it's like, I'm gonna need a herd.
Like, legit, give me my barn too. Like, I want the whole stable.
I want the whole thing.
And that's why I don't get mad, because it's like we're literally like the N-word. I think what upsets us is literally like it's the literal symbolic representation of our relationship with white people. Like, it's like y'all have literally for thousands of years taken every contribution we've had to science, to literature, to art, to in any capacity or medium you can think of. Black people was doing something wavy and saucy, and white people just came and made money off of it and like left us in the dirt.
And that's on Henrietta.
So it's like, man, that's on a whole lot of niggas. Like, we don't got
literally, we could just name a whole podcast. And so the point of this is not to say that we hate white people or we dislike. I mean, can I say it? Go ahead. Ava is married to a white man, right? So, and like we bring this energy. You feel what I'm saying? Like the white people in our lives are so dope. Because we be on this real time energy. Like, yeah, you can't take credit for that because y'all ain't really invent that, right? And they be like, God damn, what did we do? And like, the truth of the matter is a lot of humans have contributed a lot of things. That's not to say that anything hasn't been done. It's to say that now, as we have access to more knowledge, now, right, we're able to say, no, y'all didn't really do that. You stole that. Like, let's talk about who invented electricity, but y'all don't want to have that story. I know who y'all think invented electricity, but I would beg you to go and do more research. Y'all also think
George Washington ain't never told a lie in his life. I think George Washington, Jesus.
What was that even in that book? Like, I remember reading that book, and I was like, why is that a fact that I need to know? Why? Can we hear about the slaves and the slave children?
Like, legit, first grade social studies, George Washington never capped.
Literally, never told a lie.
Hold up, Honest Abe, who was using black prostitutes in back rooms and having all types of illegitimate abortions and children around.
And
it was honest.
Who was possibly mixed. I
heard Abe was black.
We all heard Abe was black.
And so but I say that to say this is not like a we hate thing. It's sometimes you just. As we access more knowledge, we realize more and more shit was a lie. More and more shit was hidden. If it wasn't a lie, it was definitely hidden. You feel what I'm saying? And that's not right or fair to us because now we're growing up and we never knew all of these things because they were never taught in school. We didn't know anything about it. And we're trying to get back our power. That's not to degrade anyone else. It's like, no, we contributed something. It's not just that, it's not as if
we're just entertainers and
we contributed more. Like black people are good at math. I know y'all hear that little saying because of the standardized testing or whatever. Like black people invented math.
Bars.
Literally the science.
You can't be bad at something you invented. And so I beg you all to go and do research on those different things. And once again, I say that I'm a true believer in stronger together. I really do believe that because I believe that we can all contribute things. It's not like white people have never invented anything. It's just that you can't.
They may have created it, but they may have taken the blueprint.
I think it's just that when we see where we are right now and we see where other people are at and we see that most of it was like a lot of these important things were stolen.
Yep.
That's not fair. You know what I mean? And and now we have enough power to come onto a podcast and be like, yeah, like we really did a lot of shit and y'all ain't gonna pretend like we didn't.
I really think you saying that is really dope. Cause just you saying that made me conscious of the fact that we're doing something and having conversations and saying stuff about white people
that our ancestors never thought was
possible. Yeah, our parents literally would have been like, "Ooh, y'all."
You can't say that, and you gonna put that out there. White people gonna see it,
like legit.
Yeah, and you can't bully me. Because I know how to do research, because I know how to look at my facts, because I know what the fuck I'm talking about, because as I will continue to remind you, I'm working on my 3rd degree and I'm currently trying to do research on what I want my 4th one to be in. You're not going to come and say LaPorsche hates white people, because LaPorsche did not say she hates white people. LaPorsche loves people who loves doing their own research, who loves having an open mind. I love all people that are like that. However, what I also tell those people is, baby, no, baby, come sit down with me real quick. Your people didn't admit that. Yeah, I know. They told you what? Yeah, I'm so sorry. If you just keep reading, you're going to see who really did that. People stole patents. They're still stealing patents. They stole literal cells. So
melanin, we ain't gonna talk about that yet.
They literally stole cells and never paid.
Everything white people try to say hip hop is, that's what they are. Like, we really, like, gangsta rap is the song, like, it's the anthem to Columbus's whole life. Like, killing people. Rob, kill, steal. Like, oh my goodness, Christopher Columbus, that's his bars. Y'all done stole his whole flow. Like, bro, that's literally for 400 years. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all like, oh my gosh.
You swagger jacker.
Christopher who? Christopher who?
No cap. Cause I'm just like, bro, like y'all literally be like, oh, black people, black on black crime. Black people wouldn't be killing each other if y'all didn't rap about it. It's like, bro, y'all was listening to Bach, like Mozart, and y'all was out here killing the world.
Some of the nursery rhymes literally were about death and
like Ring Around the Rosie, London Bridge is falling down, like all that is
ashes, it all falls down.
It's legitimately about like
even that
people being
crocodile
massacred.
song was about them throwing
Oh,
little
that
black
crocodile
babies
song.
to
Ooh, what's that?
two little monkeys sitting in a tree, and then they
Yeah.
fall into the water for a crocodile, and that was about how they used to throw little black babies. And that was the nursery rhyme that was developed to show that skill.
Y'all see how y'all are, bro? Y'all see how y'all are?
And
like the person saying I
understand.
don't hate black, I hate white people. Like her saying I don't hate white people is really like she's doing y'all this service.
Being pro-black never means you anti anything else, because people still get surprised. 'Cause I am very pro-black.
People
and they
should be
like,
anti-white as a human being. Like you should be white and anti-white, because it's like what is white?
I know white people that are anti-white. Because they be like, we just because they're so so aware of
And it's
shit
like, they
now.
have that same
Shout out
thing.
to Jordan. That's my baby. Shout out to Jordan. Like they're so aware. You know what I mean? That they're like, I will never know where I could truly be because this shit was set up for me to always win. I always say, man, to be a white person and to still fail at life, bro,
you going through it.
Like,
like,
when you put a white person
man.
onto game, it's like you took them out the matrix. Like my husband, he's at work and is seeing stuff, and he comes home, he's like, babe, like, you won't believe what happened today. Like, today this man did this to this black woman, and I had to step in, and I've never seen these things before. He's like, if this would have happened without you and the communication and the openness that we have, he probably would have just glossed over it as like, oh, these are just two people or something like that.
It's a joke or whatever,
I am very pro-black, and so when people find out I have a white husband, because I don't lead with that information because it's not your business.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have to understand that being pro-black just means I just want to see black people succeed. I want to see me succeed. I want to see my children succeed. That doesn't mean I don't want your kids to, but your kids need to understand that their success is going to be easier than mine, and they need to know why so that they can fix it.
Yeah, and if this is your first time hearing black people talk like that, you know, welcome. Welcome to the dinner table, baby. Anyway, as we wrap this conversation up, it has been great. I'm gonna do a words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. It's okay to be wrong and to learn something new. That's how you get smarter. All right? So always remember, you can't bully me, you can't bully Marty, you can't bully Ava, and they damn sure can't bully you. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll see you next time.
And that's on Bussie Badazz.
Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it.
Is you buzzing? Yes, he is.
Hey, I hope you see that, Bussie.
Right?
Like I hope I catch the wind of like the retaliation. Cause I be in Lil Nas DMs like, bro, I'm trying to collab, bro.
Come on, do this Bussie Badazz.
Cause he always be like, bro, straight artists not trying to work with me. I was like, bro, cap. I was like, I DM'd you twice. It's only been 2 times. I ain't no stand.